Good morning, everyone. I wanted to come on and make a video because I've been away for a while, and it's been quite a while since I've done a video. Um, so I think the last video that I had done, I kind of just I came on and I did a video and said kind of about being positive, and even when you have things in life that are not going well for you, try to stay positive. It'll be what makes the difference in how things go in your life. And so I just I wanted you to know that I'm a victim of that too. Everyone has things that in your life that can go wrong, and one of the reasons that I have been away for a while and haven't done a video is because I've actually been going through a few things that are kind of troublesome in my life too. I did do a few beauty videos or whatever, but I don't really talk about any things that are going on in my life in the beauty videos. Lord, I make them long enough as it is. So anyway, I have mentioned several times that in 2017 I was in a car accident, and it really did turn my world upside down. So and it makes it really hard to do a video and really tell you what what's happening, what's going on, because I'm really not able to talk a lot about things with a car accident, because I ended up having to get an attorney, and so then it was like he put the kibosh on everything, and you just really can't talk about a lot of things. But what's happening right now with why it's hard for me, why I'm going through one of them phases of my life where sometimes you can't stay positive and it's difficult, is I did get diagnosed with a concussion, but they were pretty sure it was without loss of consciousness. But I just didn't know during the accident how severely I hit my head, how many times I hit my head. I couldn't really give him an answer because I just couldn't remember. It frustrated the doctors, it frustrated me, but I didn't want to be dishonest and tell them, oh yeah, I hit my head, I was knocked out, because I didn't know. I couldn't remember, and I wasn't going to be one of those people that just made it up or lied about it or whatever. So I couldn't really give him an honest answer of yes, I for sure hit my head. I hit my head 12 times, 4 times. I didn't know. So we just couldn't get a definitive pinpoint on the head injury part. But I knew, and that I just knew that something wasn't right, because all along, when it first happened, I didn't know what was happening really, because I'd never had a concussion of that magnitude. If you've never had a severe concussion, Lord, I hope that you never do. I didn't know what was really happening to me. I would, for no apparent reason, I could just be sitting on my couch, just in, going along with my day, and in the snap of a finger, I would instantly become ill. I would get this headache, was like someone just boom, and just touched me with their finger, and an instant headache, and then I would start actually with vomiting, and then I would be so dizzy that I couldn't barely even sit up I would just have to lay there so still with my eyes closed. And that was it. The rest of my day would be completely ruined. I was just, I mean, yeah, it was awful. I'd never experienced anything like that. And this went on for like so long, months. So, the doctors finally they were like, you've got to, go, and we got to send you to like a specialist. And I went to like a big, I can't really name the place or anything, but I went to like a center, that's known for treating like athletes and everything. I was surprised. We were surprised I even got in, and they did diagnose me with a severe concussion. And I kept telling them that I had this twitch in my eye. So at the time, it wasn't a continuing twitch like it is now. I would get the twitch, and when I would get this twitch, I would know that I would have, if I wasn't home or whatever, if I would notice that I would get this twitch, sometimes, I would feel it or whatever. I would look in the mirror and see it. And I could tell like how, severe it would get. And I'd be like, I got to get home. Because I knew when that twitch would come, I would start to get a migraine headache. And I would get into a complete panic because, once I would get that migraine headache, I mean, that was it. I was done for. So, I kept telling, different, doctors and people like, hey, I have this twitch. It's, it's really bothering me. It's really bothering me. But I really just couldn't get anyone to take it seriously. And I didn't know what was going on. So here I am almost a year later. My accident was in April of 2017. Here we are into January of 2018. And I finally had to go to my regular care physician, and his nurse noticed this twitch, and she kind of like, she must have documented it in my chart, and I had to get a change on one of my medications and take the medication, and then 2 weeks later I had blood work, go back to see the doctor, and see if that medication is doing what it was supposed to be doing. I go back to the doctor, and she notices the twitch is still there, and she was like, we were just talking, and all of a sudden she just stopped me, and she was like, Jennifer, what's going on with your eye? Yeah, I got this twitch, I really don't understand it. I don't know what's going on. I gave her a brief, yes, I got hit by a U-Haul truck, and, blah, 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 blah. And I progressed her up to, what is going on now. And she said, that's not normal. That is not normal to have that, this length of time, and for it to be like continuous like that. Yeah, that's what I thought too, but I can't really seem to get anyone to, so the doctor come in, and he stood behind me and took his hands and like, tell me when you see my hands, blah, blah, blah. And here, I had lost a percentage of my peripheral vision. Well, that's not good. So he ended up sending me to a specialist, and they did a whole bunch of tests. They dilated my eyes, checked, everything that would have to do with my vision. Any of the, the nerves or anything like that that would affect anything with my vision. And all those nerves are actually working fine. You have certain number of nerves that, connect to your eyes and control, facial movements and muscles and things. And all those nerves are actually intact and working okay. As far as, the specialist could tell, everything like that seemed to be okay. But there is an eighth nerve And every now and then, sometimes people will have problems with this. And that is what I am having problems with. And so when I had been at my regular physician, he thought that, you know, due to everything that I've been going through with the accident and stress and the lawsuit and having to go to all these different doctors for different things, and just a lot of things that happened throughout the year with family things or whatever. He thought that maybe like it was psychosomatic, that maybe like stress had you know, caused this. You know, stress can do so many different things to your body that you don't even know. So he gave me some anti-anxiety medication. And so, okay, I tried that, but it did nothing. So when I went to see the specialist, he said, I'm going to paralyze your eye just temporarily. And when I do that, when I paralyze your eye, if the twitching stops, you know, because I'm going to take that out of your control, if the twitching stops, we know that it's something to do with like stress, anxiety, just something like psychosomatic, that it's, you know, your own body that's kind of causing this. If the twitching continues, then we know it's neurological. Naturally, it continued on. So that's, you know, kind of when he knew that it was like neurological. He said he has seen it before, not too many times, but he has seen it. My dog's dreaming. Can you hear her crying? Oh, I'm going to wake her up. It makes me so sad when she does that. Wake up, baby. Don't have a bad dream. It's real early in the morning. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I took him out for a potty break and I just couldn't get back to sleep. So I thought I would talk to you all. And okay, she's awake. Kind of awake. She's at least not having a bad dream. That makes me feel so bad when they're having a bad dream like that. So anyway, yeah. It's neurological, but anyway, what it's called, what this is called Hemi Facial Spasms. I think there's like a really big word for it. I'm sorry I keep doing that. I feel like I have like dog hair. I have 2 boxers and they have like really, you know, their hair is like that short kind of prickly hair. And sometimes she sleeps like really close to me during the night, and I feel like she kind of got I don't know, it's got hair on me or something, and I feel itchy. But anyway, so yeah, I went and I looked all this up. So if anyone out there catches this video and you've ever experienced this, or you know someone that has had this, I would really love to hear from you. I would really love to know your experience with this, how you dealt with it. She's like such a moose. She's like moving the camera. So apparently there are a couple different ways that you can treat it. Because I'm only 50 years old, one of the treatments that they do, and this was like amazing to me, they use Botox. And what happens is, this is how we know for sure that I had a head injury. Sometimes this can just come on naturally, and it will come on like slow, and it'll start out just like that with like maybe a small, just little, you know, twitch or, you know, whatever, spasm or something. And it usually does start like in the eye area. It'll either start in the top of your lid, and it'll start just every now and then. you don't know even, what's happening. So you just kind of let it go. And then it'll move on to, like, if it's, like I said, if it starts on the top, it'll like move on and it'll start to the bottom. And your eye's natural defense, your eye wants to protect itself. So that it'll like close itself. So if it starts on the top, it starts on the bottom, then your eye's like, uh-oh, something's wrong. So it will spasm shut. And then your eye will, contort. So when your eye does that, it kind of draws your face up a little. So then your eye, you lose the vision and whatever. And my doctor did tell me that a lot of times, whatever your dominant, if you're left-handed or right-handed, so like whatever your dominant side is, that is the side a lot of times it will happen on your face. So I'm left-handed and it's happening on my left side. Your brain is amazing. Your brain can just compensates for, I don't know. It's just, the human body is like a very amazing machine. But so that's how it'll slowly progress down your face, and it can take a very, very long time if it's happening just as a natural process. It happens predominantly in women in they're middle-aged and older, and Asian people. Now it can happen in anybody, but those are like the predisposed people that it happens more often in. And it will happen if you've had a head injury. It will come on quickly. So that's like a pretty positive answer that we will definitely say, yes, you did have some kind of a head injury, because I was in the auto accident and like bingo, it just started. The bad thing is, because it was left unattended for so long, it's like I said, it's been a year, so it's constant in my bottom lid. I don't feel like I have anything coming in the top lid, but my lip every now and then will do the twitch. It might only be once a week, but every now and then my right here on my lip will just sometimes I don't even catch it, but sometimes I just will feel like a slight little, like, just it's very, very, very minimal. It only lasts for like a fraction of a second. And I really didn't even know what was happening until the doctor told me about this, Hemi Facial Spasm thing. And then I got scared, because it'll eventually travel down the whole side of, your face. Like, so hemi, means half. So it'll split, your face. And eventually, so what happens is the whole side of your face will, be contorted and drawn up. So what they do is they'll treat with Botox. It's a compressed nerve. And, my son is an electrician, and so when we talked about it, the way he explained it to me was, Mom, think of like a bundle of wires, and each wire has like the coating around it. And if something happens to the bundle of wires, like maybe some of that coating comes off of one of the wires, and now it's like there's a, the raw metal part of, the wire exposed, it's always making connection. So it's going to like spark, and whatever you don't want to be exposed, if it's a switch or, whatever electrical device or something like that, it's going to constantly be making connection and shorting something out. So it's the same thing, like, with your brain. If there is a nerve that is being, compressed, that isn't supposed to be touching something else, that's what's happening with, with this twitch. Somewhere along the line, that nerve got compressed and like jammed up into a bundle of other nerves. It's not supposed to be touching anything, and it is. And it's slowly, making a connection where it's not supposed to be, and that's why this is twitching. And eventually, it'll be like, it'll get worse and worse, and it'll contort the rest of my face. So they can go in with Botox, and they can do some injections, and they can, basically what it is they'll kind of like freeze that nerve for a little while. The bad thing is that it only lasts for 3 months. So I would have to have these injections every 3 months, and then that's really not a solution. I guess it's pretty painful. After you have Botox injections, I've never had any Botox injections. I've only known like 2 people that have ever had them. I have watched some videos recently, and it just so happens, like with my beauty channel, one of the women that I follow has had some Botox injections, and I did watch her. And God love these women that can do this. Even though the needle is so micro small, it leaves your face so bruised. Her husband wouldn't even go out with her unless she like had her glasses on. She had Botox done underneath her eye, and it left her looking like, I mean, he beat her, or not just anybody, like somebody punched her in the face, and her eye was like that for like 3 weeks. So can you imagine, by the time I would be healing, I would have to have the injections done again. So I really am not a fan of this solution. And when I talked to the specialist, he didn't really feel like that was a very good solution for me either. The other solution is that it would be a surgery, and it's actually considered a brain surgery because they are trying to get that nerve. The good thing is, when this situation, when they first figured out what this was, this Hemi Facial Spasm situation, they they didn't really know what it was for a long time, and now they do. Medical science has come such a great way. They know now that they have to get the nerve where the nerve actually begins. Gosh, they were like going in, under the eye. They were, what I mean? They know now that the nerve actually begins like in the back of your ear. So they would, they would shave your head like back in this region, and they go in actually, which I probably can't have a hard time, but they'll go in like back behind your ear, and that's where the nerve starts. And they never want to cut the nerve because you actually need the nerve to be intact. But what they do is they take up like this small, like thin little pad type thing. It's like a cushion, and they just slip it in between that bundle of nerves where it's making a connection. So imagine like this bundle of nerves, and there's one that's like in there making a connection with things that it shouldn't, and they'll slip this pad in, and now that nerve can't touch anything else. It's isolated, and then they close you back up. So the success rate of that is like 90% or a little better. So that's pretty good, and it's a permanent solution. So that would really be what I would be a candidate for. But that's still pretty scary. Just to even know that any kind of surgery in your head, when they start talking about, hey, we're going to shave your head and we're going to go in, your skull. um, it's, yeah, it's scary. So, I've been trying to stay positive, and it is difficult. So I know that when I say that at the end of my videos and I tell people, hey, stay positive, you know, and I always give the same message: stay positive. Nobody is your, you know, nobody can be your worst enemy than you. Nobody can beat you up worse than you beat yourself up. I mean those things. It's true. No one can bring you down more than you bring yourself down. But you do have to try to stay positive, no matter how you lift yourself up, whether you go to your family, your friends, you know, your spouse, your partner, church, whatever it is you have to do. You know, whether you have to just look in the mirror every day and tell yourself, you know, I'm going to get through this. Whatever you have to do, you know. I talk to my dogs. I mean, I just keep telling myself, you know, one day at a time, you know. I don't try to look at like weeks ahead, months ahead, you know. I just get up every day and like think about what I have to do for that day, what I'm going to do, you know, in that day, and how I'm going to make today a good day for me. And I used to fret about, you know, everything in the future and how, you know, how's this going to work out? How's that going to work out? And I would be a nervous wreck all the time. I would be depressed. I would be, it was bad. And I just had to learn to stop doing that. And it is difficult. And like I've said in so many of my videos before, it's taken me all my life. It has taken me to be like 50 years old to learn to be in control of me and not let, you know, depression and bipolar and all these things have control of me. It's not an easy thing to do, you know, and I still have days where I feel down and depressed, and I have to fight that, and I have to not, you know, not give into it and not let the illness have the power over me. So I understand if there's anybody out there, you know, that's going through those things. I do, and I feel so much, you know, I do. I feel for you. I know how difficult these things can be, but I wish I had a secret that I could just expose and tell the world and say, here it is. Here's exactly what you need to do. I don't. I know for me what helped, and I hope I don't get like a lot of like comments and rude things or whatever, but I mean, it's going to be different for everybody. But like, you know, what helped me was to get rid of a lot of negative people in my life, and just ditch all of the like naysayers and just all of the energy vampires. And I just had to get rid of all these people out of my life. It just, people that were like constantly, you know, not supporting you. If they're not supporting you and they're not there for you like all the time, then get rid of them. Okay? If they're not your friends, if they're only there for you when it's their time for like, you know, good for them and convenient for them, they are not your friends. They're called fair weather friends. They're only there for you when it's like good weather and good times and so forth. They are not your friends. Friends are there for you when you are down in the, you know, trenches and life is hard and they don't care. They'll be in the trenches with you. They don't care. A friend is your friend, and you just bought a new car. They have a car that's fallen apart and they're happy for you. You know what I mean? A friend is your friend when you are sick and you have diarrhea and you are puking, and they are still there for you and they don't care. Not someone who says, oh yeah, no, I don't want to get sick, I'm not coming, I'm not going to bring you groceries. That's not your friend. No. If you have people like that in your life, get them out of your life. It will be lonely for a little bit. Get a dog. That's what I tell you. Get a dog. Best friend you will ever have. Point blank. I have 2 dogs. I wouldn't. My dogs are better companions than some of the people I've known for years. That makes me really tear up. It's sad, but it's true. But that's what I did. I just cleaned house. And if that's what you have to do, just get rid of all those people out of your life. Get rid of all the negativity out of your life. And will you be lonely? Yeah, you probably will. But you won't be so miserable anymore. If you're going to be miserable, at least you'll be the one, and you can control yourself. You'll get to a point where you can talk to yourself and say, no, I'm not going to think those thoughts. It won't be everybody else that's bringing you down. Other people's words are, people will hurt you and go about their day and not think twice about it. But you can get to a point in your life where you can tell yourself, when you start doing that negative talk in your head, stop. You can just tell yourself, no, nope, not today. Mm-mm. And it does take some time. It will take time. But you got to find a way to start getting rid of the negativity in your life. I knew I needed a better quality of people in my life, a better, quality of friends. I started going to church. It changed my life because I met, you meet better people. You feel like you have a purpose, so whatever, if you don't want to go to church, if you're like, no, I don't want to go to church, it's not my thing, that's okay. You don't, if that's not your thing. Do you like to go bowling? Go bowling. Go pick a night and go bowling. You will meet people, and do something. Just pick something, whatever it is. Do you like to go to bingo? Pick a night and just do something for yourself, where you just do something for yourself. And don't be afraid to go and do things by yourself. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people get really hung up and don't want to do things by yourself. And that's a big mistake. Don't be afraid to do things by yourself. It opens you up to meeting people and letting you, making you have to talk to people, and it can be a little bit scary at first or whatever. And if you are a shy person, it's a hard thing to do, to like walk into that room by yourself or whatever. But it'll be something that you accomplish. It'll give you a goal to set. So, if you've never been bowling or whatever, call your local bowling alley and ask them like, hey, do you have a league night? or if you're not a good bowler, you know, pick a night and like go bowling, and it's okay. You'll meet people. There's a lot of people that go bowling by themselves just to practice. Um, and it's a fun sport, you know. Um, bingo, I mean, you will meet so many people at bingo, like, and it's a pretty fun thing to do. Um, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, there's just all kinds of stuff, you know. But pick something and have fun. Enjoy your own company. If you can't stand to be around yourself, if you can't like yourself, nobody else is going to like you. Okay? Um, so think about that. You know, if you can't even enjoy spending time with yourself, nobody else is going to enjoy being with you either. So you've got to learn to love yourself. You have to learn to pamper yourself, take care of yourself, whatever it is. You know, I love a bubble bath, so I make sure a couple nights a week I take a long, lengthy bubble bath. I just like to lay in there. I turn my music on, I lay back, I put all kinds of bubbles in there. You know, you have to find things to love yourself. It's okay to love yourself. You need to love yourself. And when you can learn to love yourself, that will show through. It will give you a confidence. It's just little steps, you know, little steps to start healing. And you'll see the depression kind of like melt away a little bit at a time. You know, it's not a cure-all for everything, but it's a step in the right direction. So, I kind of got off on a little rant there, but, you know, I want everybody to, you know, feel better, you know what I mean? It's taken me so long to get rid of like the depression and the, you know, cloud that like controlled my life for so long. So I hope that, you know, I could just help somebody else feel better. So anyway, again, if anybody else out there has gone through this Hemi Facial spasms before, I would really love, you know, to hear from you, you know, down in the, you know, message me or whatever. I'd so much love to hear from you. So, yeah. All right, that's it. If you like this video, I hope that you'll give me a thumbs up. And, if you want more videos like this, I'll try to tone it down and not, go on a rant. But, this video was a little bit longer. I haven't made one for a while. I just wanted to catch everybody up. So, I hope, like, you know, you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope you'll subscribe. And, you know, like I said, stay positive. You know, just take things one day at a time. And be kind to people. Be kind to other people. You know, you just never know what someone else is going through. And, sometimes people don't really mean to be rude, or they don't even know they're doing it. They're just holding in so much anguish inside, and they don't even know they're doing it. Sometimes a kind word changes someone's whole outlook on something. So even if someone maybe might have been a little bit rude, try to just be kind. If anything, it'll make you feel better to know that you weren't that way in return, and that you were a good person. So, you know, that's really what life is about. You being, you know, a good person, being kind, and, helping people. So, all right. Be positive, and, I hope you guys all have a lovely day. So I will see you in the next video. Be positive. I love you guys all. All right. Bye-bye.